Welcome back everybody to another brand new video. So today we've got a super cool little car to work on. So let's go and have a look at it. And here we go, a Renault 5 GT Turbo. I had one, I think it was 10 or 12 years ago. Mine was mint, running and driving. I sold it for £1,600. Now a standard 5 Turbo, you just can't buy for under 10 grand. A Raider edition, which is what this is over £20,000. It's mental, but when's the last time you've seen one on the road? So I think it was 1990, 1991, Renault was stopping the Renault 5 and starting the Renault Clio. So the last few Renault 5s they did a Raider edition, which is in Raider blue with an upgraded interior, which is what this one is. This car's only done 80,000 miles and it's pretty much standard apart from, I think they're Renault Alpine GTA wheels on it, and it's got a stainless exhaust. It's just had a top end rebuild, so a new head gasket and all the head refreshed. And yeah, it's just good to see a pretty standard car even after 30 years. So Dream Car Giveaways own this car. And pretty much as soon as I've finished it and given them back, it's going on their competition site. So hopefully one of you guys can win this thing. As always, they give me a list of jobs to do along with a check over, and I got it booked in for an MOT at 4 o'clock. So let's get it on the ramp, get stuck into the first job, which is fuel smell. Okay, it's lucky YouTube hasn't invented smell-o-vision yet, because this proper stinks. It's almost like somebody's left a bowl of petrol out. It's that horrible like vapor smell. Looking at the car, filler necks all the way back here, but kind of stinks more mid-car. A bit inside, but there's a lot of smell coming up round the wheel arch. So it's gonna be underneath, I think. Fingers crossed it's not like a rotten tank or something like that, but let's get it up in the air and have a look. I think the first thing to do is check and see how rotten our Renault 5 is, because they do like to rot. So we've had inner sills this side, but just at the back. The fronts are original. Going down the front, we are okay. So the front inner wheel arches and chassis is good, which is rare. And then it's had a back inner sill this side. I think we've actually got a solid Renault 5, which, I mean, my old one weren't solid. I had to put all sills on it and everything, which is brilliant. That's a good place to start. Right, fuel smell. I mean, with the size of my nose, I should be able to sniff and get the actual GPS location of the fuel smell. Or if I sniff too hard, the car will lodge right up my schnoz. But it's not round here. It's here somewhere. So you can see on this tank, there's like a fuel stain coming down here and going round. And also the fuel. So these Renault 5 turbos, you had your original tank, but because they drunk a bit more fuel, they put this smaller tank to give you a bit of range, basically. Now the strap on that smaller tank, oh, can you hear that? That is about to fall off, so I think we'll have to make one of those. But yeah, it's in this area and it's above it. So let's rip this little backup tank off and have a look at the top of it, I think. Let's go. So that was the easiest fuel tank I've ever taken off in my life. 2 Jubilee clips and a strap, which pretty much fell off, to be honest. And it was straight off. Didn't spill a drop of petrol, as you clearly saw. And my feet do not now stink of petrol. They're gonna love me in the pub later on. So once I dropped it off, could instantly see the problem, which is this. That's the main breather hose from the big tank that comes up to the filler neck. It must be where somebody's taken this tank off to do those inner seals. They've tugged it and it's just dislodged. It's just one of those things that happens. I couldn't see that at all while the tank was on. And yeah, it's an easy fix, which is absolutely brilliant. I'll do that now actually. Just push that pipe back on. Job's a good one. Now this strap, oh, there we go. I broke it. You can see here where the strap meets the mount on the body. I'm not going to re-weld it because the fuel tank's open. I'm going to get a nice new piece of galvanized steel so it's not going to rot in the future. Nut and bolt it in, get that tank back up and everything connected, and job's a good one. So before I put the tank in, there was no underseal above it, and we don't know when this tank's going to be back out again. So just to protect it for the future, I bladdered a load of wax oil in there just to keep the body from rusting really, because these, yeah, do like to rust. So our galvanized strip, painted it black. That's solid on there, cleaned the tank as well while it was out. And yeah, that's one job we can tick off our list. So on to the next one, which is road noise. So when the guys at Dream Car Giveaway dropped off the Renault 5, they said there was a lot of road noise when you get up to speed, you know, the normal woo. Really, on a car, there's only three things I suppose it can be: tyres, wheel bearings, or the gearbox. So we'll check them in that order. Tyres, it's got Toyo Proxys on, probably one of the best tyres ever made, I think. Toyota Combat road noise. Can you see the treads on the outside? They're actually all different sizes all the way around. They'll start off small and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's to stop road noise happening. And all the tyres look all right. When you rub them like that, there's no castling. You know, I mean, sometimes this tread can wear more than this one, funnily enough, when the bands go inside the tyres, but that's all fine. So next up, we'll check the wheel bearings. Let's go. Okay, let's check the bearings. So the MOT's at 4 o'clock. It's me doing it anyway, but I'm checking it here first beforehand. If you go off the MOT book, it says rotate the wheel to hear any harsh, you know, noise in the bearing. Now rotating a wheel is basically doing that. You ain't going to hear nothing doing that, but that's what the MOT expects you to do. They don't expect you to spin it up. But we're not doing the MOT at the moment. We're on the ramp, so. And that sounds all right. There's a bit of disc noise in there, but the car has been parked up while it's been having the head work done. So yeah, that's all right. Let's go on to the front. Let's have a listen. I don't know if my mic's picking that up. That is knackered. If you want to doubly check it's not the disc and it is a wheel bearing, you just hold the spring and then you can usually feel the bearing noise through the spring as well. But yeah, that's more than likely our problem. I'll go and check the other ones anyway, but driver's front wheel bearing it is. Let's check the others. Yeah, so we've got two front wheel bearings. And a rear. I bet this thing was mega noisy because it needs 3 wheel bearings. Now 3 wheel bearings, we might as well do 4, aren't we really? It's a nice car, needs a bit of loving. So I'll get all the hubs off. Let's go. And that's all the hubs off. Rear bearings on these, piece of cake really. They're just press in, press out. So with my cheap as they come bottle jack press, it's a bit of an arm workout, but you just put a socket in, keep pressing, the old bearing just falls out, turn it upside down, new bearing in, use the old bearing as a guide and just press it in. And it's as simple as that really. Now front bearings, if you ever work on a Renault 5, there's something you need to watch out for, because I made a mistake years ago and it, yeah, come back and bit me. I'll show you. So what you got to watch out for is this drive shaft. Well, mainly the inner joint that goes into the gearbox. They're not like a normal joint, French design, brilliant. I'll see if I can get an exploded view of the drive shaft here. You've got 3 little collars, and inside those, instead of ball bearings, you've got these little needle rollers, and there's hundreds of them. And basically what I did, 17, kind of knew what I was doing. Tapped off this joint to do this boot, and without knowing it, the drive shaft had come out too far. Those little collars had fell off, and all the needles went into the inside of the gearbox. I didn't realise what had happened. Put it back together, half a mile up the road, the gearbox, all those needles went up around the diff and everything. It was just absolutely destroyed the gearbox. So I wasn't very liked that week in the workshop, and yeah, had to put a new gearbox in the Renault 5. So even now when I'm doing them, I'll put this strap round it just to stop it. Even with the weight of this joint, that will slowly fall out and all those needles fall out. It's mad. But yeah, it's just something to be real careful of. Going back to the front hubs, they're pretty easy. Again, you just smack the drive flange out the middle, pick all them bearings out. There is a trick you can do, which is if you run a bead of weld around the inside of that bearing that's left, that one shrinks the bearing and it makes it fall out real easy, and 2 gives you a ledge to just tap it out with a little chisel, and yeah, pops straight out. And then again, press the bearing in, press the drive flange in, and job's a good one. All the bearings are in, front hubs are on, and let's have a listen. Much better. Now I haven't road tested it, but just by listening to that, I think we've sorted our bearing problem. The other front's the same, so that's another job ticked off our list. Next up is the brakes. So when I got the Renault 5 in and on the ramp, I nearly crashed it into that wall. The brake pedal goes all the way nearly to the floor. It's about 1/4 of an inch off the floor. The brakes are terrible. Now, when I was taking the wheels off and the discs off to do the bearings, I noticed the problem we had straight away. On the passenger side rear, the springs for the pad retainers, one wasn't on, and then on the driver's side rear, the little clip at the bottom that holds the slide in was missing too. Now, it's had copper front to rear and rear brake pipes, and obviously somebody's had a problem, because have a look at that. That's right, both bleed nipples are snapped off. Now this one, somebody's tried to drill out and were unsuccessful, so I expect they've just bled the brakes through the brake pipe, which is why the pedal goes to the floor. Unfortunately, can't get any calipers until Monday. It's Friday now, so gonna have to cancel that MOT. But as soon as the calipers are here, I'll fit them, bleed the brakes, guaranteed. That's going to be perfect after. Well, I hope so anyway. Let's get these calipers off. So with the calipers now off, we've got a couple of days which we need to tackle our next problem, which is electrical faults. That's right, it's French. It's going to have a few, well, maybe more than a few in this case. Right, deep breath time, ready? We got the rear washer and wiper. No matter how many times you hit them buttons, nothing happens. The rear fog light, you press the button, the fog light comes on, but there's no fog light warning. And also the front fog lights just don't even work at all. The horn doesn't work, and I can't even hear a clicking from a relay. The interior lights, they don't work in the boot and in the front of the car. The battery's insecure, and the passenger side electric window only goes down when you punch in the door card. Mint. So luckily I've got all weekend until those calipers come to go round all these electrical faults. But yeah, on Monday, hopefully I'm done. The calipers will be here and on. And then our Renault 5 GT Turbo is all done. Electrics wise, I had broken wires, blown fuses, bulbs gone, the horn relay just wasn't even there, and bulbs missing as well. Motors seized, the rear wash pipe wasn't even in the car, so I've put that in. It was a lot of work, but it's all done. Yesterday, the calipers came, put them on, the brakes are now spot on, which is good. And then today, which is Tuesday, been and had it MOT'd. It's mega nice to drive, just takes you back 20 years to how cars were. It's lovely and comfortable. The engine pulls like a train, it doesn't half go. And yeah, it makes me want to go and buy one, to be honest. I can't bid on this one on Dream Car giveaways, but yeah, I'm going to start looking for one of these because it's just mega fun. So I do the mechanical work, Dream Car giveaway, they'll do a driving video, and you know, everybody wants to hear how it sounds. So I'll put the link up here to their YouTube channel, click on that, go and subscribe, and you'll see this coming up in the future, and you might have a chance to win it on the competition site. Next up for me, I've already got a car on the ramp, Audi RS4 V6 twin turbo. There's something wrong with the heart of this engine we need to delve into, so that's going to be a massive job. Part 2 of the Escort, I've sent the engine off to be bored as well, so that'll be coming up soon as well. So if you would, leave a comment, like and subscribe and all that jazz, helps me out loads, keeps me enthusiastic to keep this channel going. So as always from me, I'll see you on the next one. Ta-da!